They told you attraction is a spark, instant, magical, permanent. Either she feels it or she doesn't. But here's the paradox no one wants to admit. Attraction isn't fixed. It bends, it shifts. It can die in seconds or ignite when she least expects it. That's why a woman can look at the same man she once ignored, and suddenly something in her changes. The question is never, does she like me? The question is, do I know how to shift the way she feels when she's around me? Most men never see this. They think a rejection is final, that I'm not interested is a locked door. But women don't run on logic. They respond to energy, presence, and the way you carry yourself. You've seen it. The man who tries too hard, always chasing, always proving, always begging, he kills the spark with his desperation. But the man who moves differently, who holds himself with calm weight, who doesn't need her approval, he makes her curious. And curiosity is the first fracture in her resistance. Brother, here's where I need your honesty. Drop a 1 if you've lived the pain of chasing until you've vanished in her eyes. Drop a 2 if you're ready to stand so firm that she can't help but notice you again. Like this video so more men searching for clarity can find it. Subscribe to Stoic Station for daily lessons on discipline, confidence, and the psychology of attraction. Start this journey now. Because once you understand that attraction is not about chasing, it's about positioning, you'll see why the very first secret is the foundation of them all. Confidence, the magnet she can't resist. Let's dive in. 1. Confidence, the first magnet. Every man grows up believing women are drawn to money, looks, or status. But here's the truth she'll never tell you. Confidence is the oxygen of attraction. Without it, nothing burns, no spark lasts. And yet most men misunderstand this truth. They confuse confidence with noise. They think being louder, showing off, or forcing jokes will make her look twice. In reality, that kind of performance pushes her away. A woman's intuition is sharp. She feels the difference between a man who owns himself and a man who is trying too hard to be seen. Picture this. You walk into a room without announcing your presence, without bending yourself to fit the crowd. You don't need to prove anything. She notices in the way you move, steady, unshaken, centered. That's what true confidence looks like. But here's the challenge. In your weakest moments, insecurity whispers that you need to overcompensate. You believe boldness means arrogance, that confidence is domination. Yet women don't listen to your claims. They scan your eyes, your calm, your stillness. Fake confidence cracks fast, and when it does, she knows you can't hold yourself together. This is where many men lose the battle. The more you chase her approval, the more invisible you become. Every nervous laugh, every rushed word, every attempt to impress tells her only one thing. This man doesn't trust himself. And the moment respect dies, attraction never begins. Real confidence, the kind that pulls her in, is different. It's quiet. It's rooted. It's unshaken by her moods or the room's energy. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." That's the essence of masculine confidence. It's standing tall, locking eyes without fear, speaking slowly because you have no need to rush. It's knowing your worth so deeply that her validation becomes optional, not essential. That's why confidence is magnetic. It's rare in a world where most men crumble under pressure or chase endlessly for attention. When you radiate certainty without forcing it, she feels it in her body before she even realizes it in her mind. Attraction is sparked not by what you say, but by who you are. And once she senses that rare energy, her curiosity ignites, which is why the next secret is so powerful, the mystery that keeps her thinking of you long after you've left the room. 2. Mystery. The spark of curiosity. If you tell her everything too soon, the story ends before it even begins. But if you leave just enough unsaid, she'll find herself lying awake at night, replaying your words and wondering what you're holding back. Men often kill attraction by oversharing. They pour out their life story in the first few conversations, hoping to be understood, hoping to prove they're trustworthy. They text too often, explain every thought, and reveal every detail. But when the puzzle is solved too quickly, there's nothing left for her to chase. The game is over, and her mind moves on. Think back to the last great film you couldn't stop watching. You stayed glued to the screen because you didn't know what was coming next. Suspense kept you hooked. Women are wired the same way. Curiosity is what makes their mind circle back to you long after the interaction ends. Yet most men become predictable. They're always available, always explaining, always confirming. Predictability kills the spark. Why would her thoughts return to you if there's nothing left to discover? A predictable man is forgettable. Here's the sting. When she doesn't think about you after you leave, attraction quietly dies. You gave her nothing to replay, nothing to question, nothing to wonder about. And without wonder, there is no pull. But mystery doesn't mean manipulation or playing games. It means living a life that doesn't revolve around her approval. It means having passions, friendships, and goals that exist whether she's there or not. It means showing her glimpses, but never the full picture. Let her see enough to be intrigued, but leave enough unsaid so her mind fills in the blanks. That gap in her knowledge becomes the hook in her heart. A man who is slightly unknown becomes unforgettable. She replays conversations in her head, searching for meaning, imagining what she doesn't yet know. Every time her thoughts circle back to you, attraction quietly grows. Confidence may have drawn her in at first, but mystery is the fire that keeps her attention alive. And when curiosity burns, she won't be able to resist testing you to see if the man behind the mystery is as strong as he appears. That's where the next secret becomes crucial: emotional control, the power that separates men she forgets from men she can never ignore. 3. Emotional control, power under pressure. She doesn't test you because she despises you. She tests you because deep down she needs to know. Are you a man who stands firm, or will you crumble when things get heavy? This is the part most men never understand. They take every shift in her mood as an attack and respond in panic. When she pulls back, they chase harder. When she goes cold, they collapse into fear. When she provokes, they lash out in anger. Each reaction tells her the same silent truth. This man has no control over himself, and worse, she controls him. Imagine a storm ripping through the night. Trees bend, winds howl, chaos is everywhere. But the mountain, it doesn't move. It absorbs the storm without shaking. That image is the kind of presence she's searching for. Because in her psychology, strength isn't measured in how loud you speak or how hard you flex. It's measured in whether you can remain composed when everything around you pushes you to break. The brutal truth is this: if her emotions dictate yours, you lose her respect instantly. And respect is the ground zero of attraction. Without it, no chemistry will ever last. This is where many men fall into silent suffering. The more they beg, explain, or try to force her attention back, the weaker they appear. Weak men might be tolerated, even used for comfort or validation, but they are never truly desired. She may lean on them, but she will never admire them. The answer lies in emotional control. This doesn't mean ignoring her or pretending not to care. It means being calm when tested, grounded when she pushes, steady when she pulls away. Epictetus once said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." That principle defines masculine power. The man who can master his reactions becomes the man no one can manipulate. calm, centered, unshaken. That's the energy that separates you from every other man fighting for her approval. A man who cannot be manipulated is rare, and rare men are respected. Respect is the soil where desire takes root, where attraction grows beyond the surface. That's why emotional control is not just a skill, but a necessity. Because the moment you prove that her storms don't break you, she feels both safe and challenged in your presence. And that's exactly why the next secret is non-negotiable, valuing yourself first. Because if you don't, no one else ever will. 4. Value yourself. First, self-respect creates respect. If you don't value yourself, why would she ever value you? This is the hidden truth most men ignore. They pedestalize women, treating them like queens while lowering themselves to servants. And what happens next is predictable. She may accept the attention, she may even use the effort, but admiration disappears. Because attraction is never born from desperation. A woman can take from you, but she cannot desire you if she sees you as beneath her. Think about the countless men who pour their best energy, money and time into women who barely invest in them. They rearrange their schedules, sacrifice their goals, neglect their own needs just to keep her happy. And yet instead of winning her affection, they feel her drifting further away. Why? Because when your entire world revolves around her, you're telling her you have no center of your own. And nothing kills desire faster than a man without self-worth. This is the pain no one talks about. She doesn't see you as romantic when you give her everything. She sees you as replaceable. You thought self-sacrifice would make her stay, but in her mind, you became easy to dismiss. You gave her everything, and in return, you became nothing. That's not love, it's imbalance. And imbalance never inspires respect. The solution is simple but not easy. Value yourself first. Respect your energy, your time, your mission. Set standards for how you are treated. Boundaries are not walls. They are the lines that declare you have dignity. And here's the paradox. When you prioritize yourself, you don't push her away. You actually pull her in. Psychology calls it the scarcity principle. What is rare becomes valuable. When your attention is not available to everyone, when your time must be earned, she begins to see you differently. She recognizes that being with you is a privilege, not a guarantee. When you protect your dignity, everything changes. You are no longer the man begging for her affection. You become the man who commands respect simply by the way you live. You stand with pride, and that presence speaks louder than any words. That difference shifts the entire dynamic, and it prepares you for the next secret. Stop chasing her approval and start leading a life so strong that she can't help but want to be part of it. 5. Stop chasing, start leading. Chase her, and she runs. Lead yourself, and she follows. That simple truth has broken countless men because they spend all their energy pursuing instead of becoming. They bombard her with texts, calls, long explanations, and grand gestures, hoping persistence will turn indifference into desire. But psychology is merciless. The harder you chase, the faster she escapes. She doesn't feel inspired when you orbit her life. She feels burdened, as if she must carry the weight of your need. Think for a moment about who people naturally follow. It is never the one pleading for attention, but the one who knows exactly where he's going. Leadership is magnetic because it gives direction, and direction offers security. When you live with vision, people sense it in your presence. They want to walk beside you, not because you demanded it, but because you radiate certainty. That's the difference between chasing and leading. The conflict is clear. When you bend to fit into her world, she sees you as replaceable. But when you invite her into your strong, purposeful life, she sees you as different. One path screams desperation, the other whispers strength. And here is where men destroy themselves. They make her the mission. Every thought, every action revolves around winning her. But women don't want to be your oxygen. They want to feel your fire already burning and choose to be warmed by it. She doesn't want to carry you, she wants to join you. The solution is to stop chasing and start leading. Build a life so strong she wants to step inside it. Leading doesn't mean controlling her, it means mastering yourself. Speak with certainty because you've done the inner work. Move with clarity because your direction is non-negotiable. Live with vision so large that she realizes being near you is a privilege, not a guarantee. When you shift from seeking her approval to living by your own standards, you flip the entire script. And here's where it all changes. When you stop chasing, your attention becomes rare, and what is rare becomes valuable. She begins to wonder why you don't need her validation, why you stand firm when others bend. That curiosity quietly transforms into attraction. But the power of leadership only lasts if you prove it day after day, which is why the next secret is vital: consistency, the rarest form of strength in a world full of men who break their own word. 6. Consistency, the proof of strength. Anyone can shine for a night. Anyone can put on a mask of confidence for a date, act disciplined for a week, or look focused for a month. But only consistency proves who you really are. And this is where most men fail. They start strong, but they cannot endure. They promise discipline, then lose themselves to distractions. They claim self-control, but the moment pressure arrives, they fold. Women see every crack, and once trust begins to crumble, attraction never survives. Consistency is the bridge between respect and desire. It's not built in one grand moment. It's built in the quiet repetition of who you are over time. When she observes the same solid version of you in different seasons, calm under stress, steady in purpose, firm in values, her mind unconsciously connects you with strength. That steady presence becomes a form of safety, and safety is one of the deepest triggers of desire. But the reverse is just as true. The moment you betray your own word, when you beg after saying you'd stay composed, or bend after promising you had standards, you shatter the foundation. Without trust, attraction cannot exist. And here's the pain of inconsistency. You become another man who talked big but delivered small. At first, you impressed her with your fire, but then you revealed it was only smoke. And men like that are quickly forgotten. A fleeting interest, nothing more. It hurts because you didn't lose her to someone stronger. You lost her because you betrayed yourself. The solution is simple but powerful. Live what you preach. If you say you are disciplined, let her see your growth, not just hear your words. If you say you are focused, let your actions show it, even when no one is watching. Psychology calls this behavioral congruence. When your actions and your words align, your credibility soars. A man who says little but shows much always commands respect. This is why consistency makes a man rare. To remain steady week after week, in a world full of men who break at the first test, makes you unforgettable. It is not about perfection, it is about proving that your core never shifts. And what is rare is always irresistible. Yet even consistency needs fuel, something larger than self-control alone. That is why the final secret is the most powerful of all, the unstoppable pull of a man who lives with purpose. 7. Purpose, the ultimate attraction. A man with purpose doesn't just attract women, he attracts respect, opportunity, and even destiny itself. Purpose is the force that separates those who merely exist from those who lead. Yet most men drift. They live for the weekend, for fleeting pleasures, for the approval of others. They scroll through their days without direction, and women feel it instantly. Female psychology is quick to pick up on energy. If you are lost, you cannot lead. and no woman wants to follow a man without a map. But when you wake each morning with a mission, everything about you shifts. Your posture, your tone, your presence carry a different weight. You don't chase because you don't need to. You're already moving forward. Purpose anchors you in storms and sharpens you in moments of doubt. It gives your silence power and your actions authority. When a man has purpose, even rejection cannot touch him. Without purpose, her disapproval feels like the end of the world. With purpose, her disapproval is just noise along the path you've already chosen. Your life is not built on her opinion, it's built on your vision, and that vision makes you magnetic. Here's the sting. Without purpose, you become dependent. You lean on her for direction, for meaning, for validation, and the moment she senses you need her to feel complete, attraction dies. She doesn't see a leader, she sees a man waiting to be led. That energy can never inspire her, it only weighs her down. The solution is to find your fire and commit to it fully. Build your mission with everything you have. It could be your career, your craft, your health, or the legacy you want to leave behind. Whatever it is, purpose transforms you into the rarest kind of man, the one who cannot be ignored. The man who stands so firm in his vision that others feel drawn to join him. The man who becomes the mountain others want to climb beside. Women don't fall for men who need them. They fall for men who inspire them. And inspiration never comes from chasing. It comes from living with purpose. With it, you are unstoppable. With or without her, you remain whole. And that is the deepest attraction of all. The realization that you don't need her to be complete, but she cannot help but feel pulled toward the man who already is. That's the secret she'll never say out loud, and the one that ensures you are never forgotten. Brother, what I've walked you through is not a set of tricks to make her like you. It's a framework for becoming the man who never has to beg for attraction. Confidence is the first magnet, because if you don't trust yourself, no one else will. Mystery keeps her curious, because what's fully predictable is always forgettable. Emotional control proves your strength under pressure, the one quality women test for without even realizing it. Valuing yourself first flips the dynamic, because self-respect is the seed of every other form of respect. Leading instead of chasing sets you apart, because people don't follow men who orbit. They follow men with direction. Consistency shows you're real, because words mean nothing without proof. And purpose is the crown. When you live for something greater than approval, you become magnetic to everything: women, respect, and opportunity. The truth is simple. Attraction isn't created by chasing her, it's created by building yourself. These principles aren't just about relationships, they are about life. They force you to ask, who am I becoming? Am I steady enough to be trusted? Am I disciplined enough to inspire? When you focus on these, you stop being the man waiting to be chosen and start being the man who chooses his path. That shift is where everything changes. So remember this: don't measure your worth by her reactions. Measure it by how deeply you live your standards. Build yourself, and attraction follows. Live with purpose, and no rejection can shake you. That's the quiet power she'll never tell you she craves, but it's the one that makes you unforgettable. If these truths spoke to you, don't let them stop here. Anchor them in your life. Like this video so more men searching for clarity and strength can find it. Subscribe to Stoic Station for daily frameworks on confidence, mystery, emotional control, self-respect, leadership, consistency, and living with purpose. In the comments, write this truth: I build myself, attraction follows. And I'll see you in the next video, where we break down exactly how to apply these principles in real life, so you don't just attract her, you attract respect, opportunity, and the kind of life no one can take from you.